Hi, good day. We're going to work with realistic projects, and this simply means further henceforth, we'll be talking about the theories around creating bots. We'll head back to that some other time, but now we're going to be working towards series of tasks. Now, creating personality, it's simply creating something that looks more like a human being. Now, the basic concept of a bot, it's simply just to create a repetitive task, but making a bot look like a human being means creating this bot to do repetitive tasks, but in a human-like form. So, for instance, a human being visits a website, they try to scroll at least up and down, try to see if they can read or make anything out of a website. Now, even if they don't end up reading the full article, but they would at least try to read, a couple of things before clicking on an advertisement, maybe an advert that interests them. Now, this is what a normal human being would do. But now the typical bots people create, it's simply just focusing more on what they want rather than trying to make what they want appear, like it's coming from a human being. So, for instance, what they want is to have a bot come to the website and click on ads. So they want clicks on their web page or their YouTube channel, and that is what they want. Now, making it look like a human being is creating a bot that will visit the website, spend more time on the website, scroll up, scroll down, try to act like it's reading something before it clicks on an advert. Because realistically, that is what a human being would do. Now, creating a bot that is not human-like, it's creating a bot that will just open up your website, just scroll down within a few seconds without even processing or reading anything. It's clicking on an ad, and after which the bot goes off. So you can clearly see now from the examples I just gave you, one bot actually acts like a human being by scrolling up and down, and the next bot just does one particular thing, which is what the creator of the bot wants. Click on an ad. Now, Google has been fighting so hard on fake traffic, invalid clicks. So this simply means if you have a bot that does, the later, which is just open up a website and click, you would definitely have traffic. You would definitely have clicks. You would definitely see earnings on your AdSense account. But the problem is after a while, you lose every single thing. And then you're back to having your AdSense account banned or suspended. So today we're going to be going straight into the next series of projects. And on this project, we're going to work with my YouTube channel, a new YouTube channel I created this year. And the aim of this YouTube channel or the aim of this tax is to use our bot traffic to inflate the number of views. I'm going to show you what the views currently looks like at the moment. I'm going to start applying bot traffic. I'll code the whole process with you. You're going to see what the bot is going to do to the whole YouTube channel and how the views will increase. Now, for the sake of people who might really be a bad belly, I would disable all my ads, right? That's simply because this project could actually be used as an evidence against me. So this simply means why the bot clicks on anything, it could, people could go show Google and let them know that from the space of this time to this time, this was bot traffic, and this is an evidence because this was a tax they did. So this simply means I'll create the bot traffic. It's going to give me a whole lot of earnings, but it's going to give me a whole lot of traffic. But I'm going to demonetize every single video we're using on this project, so that way we don't have issues linking back to us. So without further ado, let's get into one of the most important thing we have today: personality. Now, why creating a personality? It's simply just creating what looks like a human being. Now, what looks like a human being? It's a human being. So the way bot works, people do create bots, or the way a bot should work is a bot should try to, mimic a real human being, but people rarely focus on that. So for instance, I'm going to go to the beginning of this code. When we first created this project, we started up with bot.js. Now, this bot.js, this was like an introduction to the course. We're basically picking up things randomly. We pick up, and just view. Now, it was working perfectly fine. We added up cookies, it could give you lots of views. But these views and these earnings and these whole things were not, authentic. Like they were not really looking completely realistic. So that simply means it would still pose you an issue. Now, if you look at the beginning of this code from the phase one and phase two you have created, you get to notice that all we simply had to do was to run the bot. After running the bot, we just simply pick up a user agent randomly, which was the first project. We now pick up a link, which is like any link we would want to, like a list of websites or something like that. So we pick up like a link from a list of websites. We further go on to pick up a proxy. Now this is like a random proxy, and finally we pick up a cookie, which is like a random cookie. So we're basically just creating a system where we pick up random things and we use them. Now this was just to prep you on how to get started. So the phase one and phase two, like I said, it was to really show you that you could actually get the things working. Now henceforth, now we're no longer going to be picking up things randomly. We're not going to be going what we call into a wire. We're going to now move on to what we call a wire structure. Now if you look at this folder, you can see a wire structure management. Now this is simply where you define what your system is going to be like what is it going to be structured like, how is it going to, how is it going to function, like the whole system, how is it going to be effective. So this is where wire structure comes in. So the next episode, I'll teach you on how to build up your first wire structure, the concept of building it up. So I wouldn't want this particular video to just be of a waste. So I'm going to first of all give you like a couple of tips. Now you have seen this random details being picked, you must have understood or asked yourself a particular question. If I keep picking on these things randomly, won't it cause an issue? And the answer is yes, it will. In fact, as a matter of fact, the major reason why most people who use bots or use random bot like this run into issues is because it looks completely fake. And I'm going to give you the flaws on this particular video, on the flaws of phase 1 and phase 2. So we on this phase 3 will create a new upgrade to what we've done on phase 1 and phase 2. So let me show you the flaws first of all. Firstly, random user agent. Now, I'm currently using my mobile phone and I'm logged in here to my mobile phone. This simply means I have my Gmail account logged in here or whatever website logged in here. Now, each time I visit Gmail, it shows that I'm coming in from an iPhone, and Gmail already has logs that I use on an iPhone. They show me iPhone related ads. They show me apps I can install from the App Store. My ads are being customized from, my logged in session, which is my user agent, and iPhone. Now imagine right now I'm using an iPhone, but every single time I open up a website, it could change from an iPhone to an Infinix, from an Infinix to a computer. Now this whole thing would have not been a problem because I can have an iPhone, I can have an iPad, which I do, I have a Mac, which I do, I have a Windows computer, which I do, I have lots of devices. But where the problem comes in is what we call a cookie ID. Now each time you log into a particular device, it creates what we call a session ID. That session ID is very unique. So if I log in with my iPhone, I think this is my iPhone 13 Pro, it's going to create like a unique section ID to say Daniel Okechukwu logged in on this particular day. Today is what? Okay, whatever today's date is. And when he logged in on an iPhone 13 Pro. Right now, it saves that on my activity log. Now it starts, amending the kind of advertisement that I'm going to be receiving. It has to be adverts that are related to that of iOS. I can't be on this phone and see advert on Android. It's not going to be possible, except maybe I visit a website that just has, install on Play Store like coded already. But any ad Google is giving me, as long as I logged in with this phone, it has already saved this phone as an iPhone. So I'm going to be seeing iPhone related ad. Now this special ID is like a token being stored on the Google database or whatever website database. It lets them know that this particular ID, this particular section ID came in from a particular phone, which is like the 13 Pro. So that is the cookie ID, the session ID. Now I'm using this phone now. All of a sudden, they've already started customizing, building up a personality. The same session ID, not a different one. Now a different one is if I log in here and then I go over and I pick up my Android phone and I log into Google on my Android phone. Now what happens? I'm going to log into the same Google account, but the session ID on this phone will be different from the session ID on my iPhone. So in as much as I'm logged in with two different, in as much as I'm logged in on the same account, like it's the same Gmail account, but since it's different phones, each of those login comes with a unique key. That unique key shows the particular date, the time, the IP, the phone you're using. So the idea of this one is different from the one I would get for my Android phone. Now, when you actually pick up user or random cookies or random, let's say from user agent. When you pick up random user agent, it causes a whole lot of issues. Now, part of what Google's AI, which is artificial intelligence system, has learned is whenever a cookie switches, user agent, it's likely bot traffic, especially if the session ID it's there. So this is, if you have a pen, you can jot that down as one of the rules. Whenever a particular bot switches, or whenever a particular session ID, which is like a particular session ID, switch different user agents within space of time, it's going to be assumed that that particular user agent it's a bot. Now it doesn't do that immediately. I mean, I could be on my phone and I'll switch over to desktop mode, or I could be on desktop and decide to go on mobile view to view what it's going to be like on a mobile phone. Now, as long as the cookies is there, I'm not going to have an issue, right? But when it keeps changing consistently, experience in the whole system has really taught me that get flagged. So this simply means the user agent should not be changed. I really advise, which is what we're going to learn on wire structure, which is the same thing I apply as well. If you're using an iPhone, for instance, or an Android, whatever device you're using, the session ID has to always be the same. Now, the only thing I will advise you to do is if you want to use, maybe you want to create a bot that would be coming from a particular device you don't have, create the user agent on your computer, which is download that user agent, modify your computer to have that user agent, log in, and then export the cookie. Now, if you don't understand what I mean, let me now explain properly. This is my iPhone. If I log into my Gmail account, it's going to save a user ID, right? That session ID or cookie ID or user ID will be the metadata containing the IP address when I logged in, the day I logged in, every single thing about the device, including the user agent. It's going to save it, right? What I'm trying to say is, if for instance you want to now create bots and you want one of your bots to use, let's say, a Techno phone or an Infinix phone, or maybe you want your bot to show as an iPad, right? Now, you might not really have an iPad at the moment, but what you should do is to open your computer. So let me teach you how to do that first of all before this video runs down, so I know we at least learned something. So I really do not know what I opened on my Google tabs, and okay, I just hope it's not something sensitive. Okay, I have not even opened anything here so far. Okay, beautiful. Now this is my Google tabs. Now what I want to really show you at the moment is how to change your user ID. So I'm going to come on Google and I'm going to type my device. Now it's going to try to tell me what device I'm using, right? Or let's just say my user agent, since this one is taking us time. My user agent. Now Google is going to tell me that my user agent is a Google Chrome. It's an Apple kit. Like, it's basically just telling you right now I'm on a computer. This is a computer, right? Now I'm going to right click. I'm going to go over to inspect. Now, once I go over to inspect, I have the options of doing the following. I could change this from responsive to another device. So on this video, I'm going to change it to something like an iPhone 12 Pro. So I'm clicking on an iPhone 12 Pro. Beautiful. Now I'm going to refresh the page. So let me refresh the page. I'm going to refresh the page. Beautiful. Now all of a sudden you're not beginning to see that I'm using like an iPhone now, and it's not just an iPhone. I'm using the iPhone, this particular OS. It's already showing you that I'm on an iPhone at the moment. Now if I still change this thing to, let's say, the Samsung for instance, and I refresh this page again, now you clearly see that it's going to also change this to Samsung. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is, if you want to use a device, other than the device you're exporting your cookie from, try to do something like this. Try to first of all mimic the device, create the user agent, log in. So let me explain what I mean by login. So let's assume right now you don't have an iPad, right? You can come here. Okay, there's already an iPad there. Or let's just set another device. I can simply just come in. Let me say, let's assume I want to create another device. What device do I want to create? Let's assume I want to create something like a Linux device. All right, or any, I can just, okay, let me say Techno. Let's say I want to create a Techno. I don't know what their names used to be like again. So let me just check what the latest Techno is like. So this is how to, I want to show you how to do it and log in. There is not just one. I can't just see it at the front page like this is the latest Techno. Okay, Techno Phantom X. So let's just head over and say and assume, okay, that's open. Pop 6 Pro. Okay, let's just say Pop 6 Pro. So I'm gonna come here and say Techno Pop 6 Pro. Now I'm giving this a name called Techno Pop 6 Pro. It's not asking me for what Techno Pop 6 Pro dimension is like, right? It's asking me for the dimensions. It's also asking me if it's a mobile or if I should make it a desktop. I'm gonna leave that mobile. It's also asking me for user agent. So in case I want to put on the specific user agent. So basically I can configure any device I want. So instead of using just random user agent with random cookies, you can actually make sure that each particular user agent, in fact, the user agent you used, the rule is the user agent you used when you log in should be the consistent user agent you use continuously. So, for instance, if I'm using this my phone right now and I'm logging to my Gmail for the next 2 months, it will still be this phone, right? Do you think I would log into this phone with, okay, this is an iPhone. I'm logging in right now my Gmail, and I've logged in since, I don't know. I think ever since I got this one, I logged in. I've not logged out, right? So it's been consistent each time it comes online. It's the same cookie ID from the first day I log into this phone. It's the same thing till now consistently. You're not beginning to understand the point now. So it's the same ID. Anything I'm doing to keep showing that I'm coming from this particular device. So this simply means picking up random user agents will cause you an issue, because it has to be showing consistently, even when it's pinging on the ping metadata. It has to show consistently you're coming in from one device. So now this is where we start moving up to customize. I would make this on the next episode. So let's just, on the next episode, I will show you how to customize this, because we still need to learn it, just because once we're customizing our user agent as we log in, we'll have to save the particular cookie. So if I log in right now as, for instance, this Techno phone, right? I'm going to open a Gmail account. I will log in from the Techno phone. I'm going to orchestrate the whole. I'm going to show you how to create a wire structure. I'm going to come create a, let's say, virtual Techno phone. That means create a user agent first of all. Log in, export the cookies. Now, when I export the cookie, I will also take notice of the IP address. So let's say, for instance, if I'm using, or if I want this particular Techno phone to be coming from Kenya, I'm going to use a Kenya VPS or a Kenya process server. Log into that particular Google account. So that way, on the metadata, it says that on this particular day, traffic from Kenya logged in. Because now, as well, if the process server, which is the IP address, keeps changing, it doesn't make sense. You cannot be in Nigeria at one moment, the next moment you're in US, the next moment. The only thing that actually changes your address consistently is a VPN. And if you also notice, when you use VPN to click on ads, most of those ads are already, called invalid traffic. So I'll teach you how to get good IP addresses that will look like a real phone, like as though the IP address is actually coming from a real mobile phone. Now you're going to map that IP address to a particular user agent, which is the user agent you use when you log in. And that login section, which is the cookie, would actually be identical. So if you create like user agent for a Techno phone and we log into a Gmail account, we're going to keep note of the IP address we used, the user agent we used, and we'll save that logged in session. Now, instead of making all these things random, it's not going to be specifically to that particular time. Now, the only thing that might really change is the links or activity. And that is where we now have like an extra curriculum that talks about how to actually go and click, how to open links, how to sometimes create up a YouTube channel. That channel should subscribe to your own account. Like I'm going to create some YouTube accounts right now. I'll use those YouTube accounts to subscribe on my own channel. Then I'm not going to make those bots to keep taking notification. So each time I upload a video right now, they don't have to go to a list of links. They'll just have a particular time. They'll keep checking on the channel. So whenever they just come in, they'll just go to notification or the notification. Because like when you subscribe to YouTube channel, you turn notification tab on. So you just go to notification and watch any of my video. Now that is my first model. The second model is to come over to the YouTube front page, keep scrolling down, watching random videos till it matches the particular video that I uploaded. The moment it matches it, any advert that is coming, it clicks on it. So that way, because of the previous activity it's been doing already, and the fact that that particular bot is subscribed to my YouTube channel, anything it does is identified. So on the next episode, we're going to do that. Let's proceed to the next section of the course, which is building up a particular wire structure.